Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be doing our Star Wars Legion Ministravaganza preview. This is where I am going to talk about the things that we are certain are going to be shown at Ministravaganza and some of the things that maybe are less than certain, but certainly hopeful. So that is the subject of today's video. Ministravaganza is coming up the 14th, 15th, and 16th. We're like a week and a half away. It's coming up very soon. And that's pretty exciting. Now, this is, if you guys aren't familiar with Ministravaganza, this is Atomic Mass Games on their Twitch TV channel. They're going to be doing multiple blocks of videos, painting videos, developer talk videos, and each day they're going to be, having one special sort of roadmap video. I think Thursdays is Marvel Crisis Protocol, then it's Shatterpoint on Friday, and Legions on Saturday. So I will be, having a watch party for these. So if you're subscribed, you're not going to miss out on any of the good, important news for these games. I'm going to be bringing it all to you, primarily Shatterpoint and Legion. I may talk a little bit about Marvel Crisis Protocol, but I don't really go into that too much. But basically, there's a couple of important things. Friday night, they're doing a Battle Forces video, and then Saturday, like around noon Eastern or like 9 a.m. Pacific, they're doing the Legion roadmap. And those are the big things that we're going to talk about in this video, because I think there's a couple of things that we're definitely going to see. There's definitely multiple painting streams. I won't be doing watch parties for all of the painting streams, but there's things that you may want to keep in mind. Of course, I will do a kind of a summary wrap-up video when everything is completely done. But I think one of the first things that we can definitely expect to see is to get a lot of preview and details for the Geonosians and Sun Fac and how all of that is going to be. I don't expect to have a whole lot more Geonosians than we've already seen. I think the recipe for AMG's Battle Forces and the packaging and how this is all going to be distributed is going to be very similar to how we saw the Ewoks. This is my prediction, but I expect you're going to have kind of the Geonosian core unit that can probably have two different versions, and then you probably also have Poggle the Lesser and Sun Fac in maybe like a leader's sort of separate expansion pack, and that will probably constitute the Geonosians. That's my guess based on what we've seen already and based on the images and stuff like that and what they've talked about. Now, with that being said, we still don't know very much about Geonosians, exactly how the battle force is going to work and all of that. I expect they'll talk about that. They'll also probably give us a lot of information. There's a painting stream scheduled for this. I want to go back a little bit and rewind back to Adepticon, where this image is taken from. Adepticon, they give us a roadmap for Legion. And so far, the only things that came out after Adepticon that they previewed for us was Ahsoka and the Ewoks, or that Ewok wave. So there's a lot that they also previewed at Adepticon that we still have very little information, if not any information for. The Geonosians is definitely one. I think that's going to be a big hype and focus. Next up is the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors haven't been talked about at all. There is a painting stream that mentions the Empire's elite, and some of you viewers, when I talked about the schedule, have suggested that one is likely going to reference the Inquisitors. I feel like that is a very good guess, and it very well could be, but it also might be something else. I don't know if the Empire needs a whole lot more currently, because they've been getting so much attention and such good battle forces lately. I don't really think that they need a whole lot of new stuff in the Empire, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But either way, we are going to get some look or some previews, almost certainly, of the Inquisitors. What we do know is that they're going to likely be, they're definitely going to be Imperial, and they're going to be able to share that sort of operative slot. Basically, Will Schick had indicated that it wouldn't consume like all of your slots So you could run both of these, Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother, together, and it would only take them one slot for the ranks. So I'd love to see some more illumination on that. And is Seventh Sister going to have her droid, her seeker droid, as a separate piece? And what's the advantage of running both of them versus running only one? Is there, like, do you say, is it just a cost thing? Or do they have, like, teamwork with each other? Do they have teamwork with other potential Inquisitors? And also, what other doors does this open? Like, and why aren't we getting the Grand Inquisitor? And I guess it's because the Grand Inquisitor just came out for Shatterpoint. But then again, the Fifth Brother is also in Shatterpoint. So we're getting the Fifth Brother in both games. I mean, I'm all for having more units available for both games. But these guys are going to look really cool on the tabletop. To finally get some new red sabers on the Empire side is a big deal, because it's really just Darth Vader. I mean, Palpatine doesn't use a lightsaber, so Darth Vader's been like the only show in town for the Empire, if you're a lightsaber lover like I am. So it's going to feel really cool to get these on the tabletop. Other things that are going to be really cool to get on the tabletop are related to our sponsor. I want to thank Luxury Playstyle for sponsoring today's video. If you guys haven't already, definitely check out luxuryplaystyle.com. These are full metal tokens. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're double-sided. They're magnificent. You are going to love them. They also make great gifts. They make great prize support. And definitely check them out. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. And while you're there, remember code Crabbok VIP. That saves you 15% off of your order. And orders that use that spend at least $35 are going to get a free Crabbok token thrown into their purchase. It's that lightsaber nunchuck token. It's a really cool token. You're going to love them. So head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. So, in addition to the Inquisitors, we're also very much likely expecting to see a Bad Batch preview. If they don't give us a Bad Batch preview, it'd be a darn shame that they've showed it so early at Adepticon. It's still not giving us a preview. So, I would bet, I would wager heavily that we will see a Bad Batch preview. And we know virtually nothing about the Bad Batch. They were kind of dropped with almost no information. We don't know if they're going to be a special forces. We don't know if they're going to be an operative, if they're all going to be individual operatives. I imagine it's going to be some kind of special case where you can run them all together as one unit, or maybe you can run certain ones individually. I believe it was said that it's going to be a dual faction pack, so it should be a Rebel and, it should be Rebels and the Republic, but I'm curious if they're going to do anything more with it and possibly make certain characters work for the Empire or what have you. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. It is cool to see Omega is in there too. Now this is very much I think Bad Batch Season 1 inspired, but yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. And I think the Republic really needs some help, but it's funny to me that the Rebels are getting the same kind of help, and I'm curious if they're going to be the same for the Republic as they are for the Rebels. I'm curious how they're going to run them, if there are going to be any differences. Like, hey, you can run the whole unit for the Rebels, but if you run them in the Empire, you can, or for the Republic rather, then you can also run like so-and-so as a commander and so on and so forth. I don't know if these guys would work as, I don't know if Hunter would be a good commander in the Rebels, but I could see him being a commander in the Republic, so like things like that. Although I don't know if I'd see them being commanders at all. Maybe operative is probably better, but if anybody was going to be a commander, I could see Hunter doing it. But I think this is the biggest mysterious sort of shroud. I mean, because then again, Inquisitors, let me go back. Inquisitors, you can pretty much guess 80% of what their cards are going to look like. They're going to have jump, they're going to have deflect, they're going to, probably have some Force upgrades. Might have Master of the Force. I don't expect them to have Master of the Force, though. Don't expect them to have Master of the Force. I expect them to have some command cards that let them recover at least once. But I don't expect them to have Master of the Force. But definitely jump, deflect, and probably immune to pierce. Although, granted, I mean, they may do some differences with Inquisitors since they're not full-fledged Jedi or full-fledged Sith. Like, the whole idea was that they weren't really, there's a limits to how much they actually wanted to train them up. They didn't want them to be able to rival Vader, for example. So they might have something that's like not quite immune to Pyrrhus, but maybe they, maybe they have, impervious or something like that. That's like that in between or something. I don't know, but I think we're going to be, for the most part, if you look at all the things that Jedi typically have, Inquisitors will probably have most of that, and then maybe one or two new little things to to give them some pizzazz, and then let the command cards kind of do the rest of the work for them, is my guess. But with the Bad Batch, I think the closest that we're gonna get is to look at how how some maybe Inferno Squad kind of did some of their stuff. They could all go together, but then some of the members could split up and go other places. I think that's kind of the closest. That's my guess. I mean, Echo is already in the game, and it kind of can go into a lot of different units. And here you're going to get like presumably a different version of Echo. Granted, maybe they'll give us the exact same one, but I don't think it'll be the exact same one, right? So, and it'll be really interesting because could I use the fully human Echo versus the mechanized Echo? Like how will the old Echo interact with these guys? Can I put him in there? That'll be also really interesting. So a lot of curious things, a lot of questions about this whole unit and how they're going to work. I just think it's really cool. Really excited to see. But these are the things that we sort of know. There's a lot of other stuff that I expect. I will say this. I'll be a little bit disappointed or underappointed if that's all we get for Legion. I don't expect that to be the only thing we get. I know they're going to be talking about the other formats. That's the kill team version of Legion or something like that. They'll probably talk about some of the rules that they're working on and things like that. But as far as new products, right? I'll be a little disappointed if the only new product we get spoiled is stuff we already knew about. I mean, this is Ministravaganza after all, so I'd love to see more new product. And I'm pretty sure there will be. And so I want to talk about new product. I expect, well, you see Gungans are up here. This is my graphic for new product. So let's talk about Gungans representing just a great way to talk about all kinds of new things. New battle forces. I think the Geonosians coming out, Geonosians and Gungans were the first two sub-factions sort of hinted at by Luke Eddy and Alex Davey back in the Fantasy Flight days. So it's, I've always felt like those two kind of belong in the same conversation, and that they're alien, kind of different, and they would suit for a battle force or sub-faction. And so they both work well as battle forces in Star Wars Legion. And so the fact that the Geonosians are confirmed, it just makes perfect sense that what would the Republic's equivalent be? If the Republic will even have an equivalent. I would suggest that if there's never been a better time to tell us that Gungans are coming. And I don't know if they'll come at the same time as the Geonosians, but if they could, it'd be possible, and I would love it. There's so much about Legion that really just belongs in that the Battle of Naboo with the whole Gungan Grand Army. So much has always just belonged there. It just seems perfect, and I'd love to see that really become a thing. And I know some people are a little bit mixed. Not everybody's big fans of Gungans, but if you hate Gungans, look at it this way. If they show up in the game, then you might get to kill a bunch of Gungans, right? You might get to go do battle against a Gungan army and blast Jar Jar Binks into outer space. So whatever your opinion on Gungans, there can be a bright side for that. But I just think the Gungans, like, they formed up rank and file like a standing army, a proper standing army with discipline. And, obviously Jar Jar Binks was like the joke character there, but all the rest of the Gungans were like, they knew what they were doing. They had some pretty cool tech too. They had those shields, they had the one guy with the Boomba. They had the big dinosaurs, man, come on. Like, it was just cool stuff. So, I am only afraid that if they do Gungans, they'll only do like less than half of what really needs to be done. Like, I don't just want ground troops. Like, I want to have a dinosaur. I'd like to have the guys riding, riding the, there's a word for it, but those velociraptor type things. And And I'd love to have Boss Nass show up. Like, he could probably be in the back. He'd be a good, like, rear kind of leader. Captain Tarpos. Jar Jar Binks, I mean, they made him a Bombad General, but, like, I feel like he probably should be an operative that has maybe a command card that can give him, like, Jar Jar Binks should be an operative that goes in and screws stuff up and has a chance, rolls a die, and he can hurt himself too, or can hurt allied units. But like, he should have a command card that says Bombad General, and it, like, maybe it's a 1-pip, and it does actually allow him to issue orders, and it's like his one moment of getting things right, you know. Like that's what I would do for Jar Jar or something like that. But have like Captain Tarpos be a commander, and have Boss Nass be a commander, but then have Jar Jar Binks be an operative who can give out orders with the Bombad General card. That's my thought. I'd love to see that. But I think besides Gungans, there's plenty of other things that we can expect to see. I think a big thing is, since we're getting Inquisitors, I think we should get more stuff for Star Wars Rebels. I know that since the Bad Batch is coming, that they'll also be available for the Rebels. But I mean, Ahsoka also just came out, and you've got Hera there too, and Chopper, and possibly more stuff. And so I feel like there's really never been a better time than to start, saying, hey, all you Rebels fans, here's some stuff, to cater to. I think it seems like a really good idea. So I think that would be a really good thing. So we've covered kind of Republic and Rebels quite a bit. For Empire, we already know that we're getting the Inquisitors. I would like to see the Grand Inquisitor show up, but I don't know if we're really going to get that. Also, wouldn't mind seeing some type of elite Emperor's Royal Guard, like Royal Guard Champion. And I would love to see, like, TIE Fighter pilots. Now, I know we have Inferno Squad, but I've always wanted pilots, especially the Rebel pilots. Always wanted, like, a downed flight crew as, like, an optional core unit. Like, we haven't really, after we got, like, our third core for each of those factions, like, we haven't gotten any new core units, and I'd love to see that. Hopefully that will be something that shows up at some point. Separatists haven't gotten a whole lot, but they are getting, they've gotten Asajj Ventress, but they haven't gotten a whole lot of stuff recently. And then, of course, they're getting the Battle Force. They're getting the Geonosians. I'm not sure if we'll get a whole lot more outside of a Geonosian Battle Force for the Separatists. But, again, they're talking about new Battle Forces, so you kind of have to think, well, what new Battle Forces could each faction have? And I think the Separatists, with the Geonosians getting one, that's great. I don't know if there's enough, with Inquisitors to justify a whole battle force. I don't know if you could do like an Inquisitorious sort of battle force. Now, I think you can justify that if they give like shock troopers and purge troopers and things that were designed to fight Jedi. And so you can include the Emperor's Royal Guard, you can include the Emperor, Vader, the Inquisitors, shock troopers, and maybe K2SO. As a K2, like maybe use K2SO's model as a generic K2 security droid, and things basically from Jedi Fallen Order, because I think Jedi Fallen Order is a game that might be starting to make a presence in Legion. It's become popular enough, and since they've had the second installment, and they're going to be doing a third installment of that, Jedi Survivor, and who knows whatever else the name of the other one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cal Kestis show up, and some of the other characters from those games show up in this. I definitely think they'll show up in Shatterpoint, but I'm going to leave that discussion for my Shatterpoint video. So I want to hear some of your guys' thoughts on what you expect to see, what you're hoping to see for Star Wars Legion. That was some of mine. Again, it's coming up the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th of September 2023. We'll be bringing you all the greatest, so make sure you stick around, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible. Thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Have a great day, and always wash your socks.